Alrighty, let's just do a quick mic check, make sure we're all good. Coming through loud and clear. Hello, hello. Check one. Hello, hello. Perfect. Hello everyone, welcome to PGR League Racing Season 9. I am your host, Sidonian Muse. Back at it again after a couple weeks break since Season 8. The drivers had time to adjust to new cars. Everyone's all switched up with new cars for this season. And we're starting off the season with a bang here at the Hungaroring in Hungary, Budapest. It's going to be an exciting race to start off, but shouldn't be too chaotic. A track, not too many spots to overtake. Mostly got to stick to the clean DRS zones on the track for the most part. Pretty windy. But tonight we have a lot of new drivers joining us. A lot of people aren't going to be here tonight who are going to be here for future races in the season, so it's going to be a little weird in that regard. Not going to be able to introduce you all to all the new drivers we have tonight, but we'll point them out as we go. As you can see, we have Redline F1, who is new, joining us tonight in the Haas for the first time. Everyone say hello to Redline. We have Silo Racing. He's also new, joining us in the Williams. Drupally in the Haas as well, teammates with Redline. We have Watchman returning from the end of last season. Now Vodka's teammate, AlphaTauri. Currently our favorite going forward. Now that the reigning champion Benzo Slice has left. PGR is not returning to fight to retain his crown. It's a perfect opportunity for a new champion. So regardless of what happens, there will be a new champion this season. Some favorites include Vodka, Uncle Larry Firewater, who's going to be joining later in the race on the McLaren. Who's moved from the Haas to the McLaren, as you might remember. As you can see, Vodka's moved from the Red Bull to the AlphaTauri, Larry from the AlphaTauri to the Red Bull. And then we also have Abe Master Fix here, and Aston Martin, aka Dizzy, who is also new as well, joining us tonight. But before we get into our qualifying session, we're going to do a quick pre-race interview. We like to do quick pre-race interviews with the drivers before we start the race. Last season we did 2 per race. Now we've cut it down to 1 just to get to the action as quick as possible, not as much chitter chatter. So we're only going to have 1 pre-race interview per race during the season. And tonight, to kick things off, we're going to have the league admin himself, Slim, who is now back in his Mercedes for the first time on F1 22. He's going to be joining us for the first pre-race interview of the season. So we're going to get Slim in here and make sure we can hear him loud and clear. As always, Slim's teammates going forward in the season is Slingshot. You might remember from last season if you were watching Season 8 of PGR. Here on PGR TV at twitch.com. Slingshot coming off a pretty solid Season 8 overall. Definitely one of the most improved out of everyone. Now he's teaming up with Slim, definitely going to be fighting for that Constructors' Championship. And but also, several times got close to his first podium here in PGR last season. Had several close calls. Got very close, lots of 4th place finishes. So, who knows, we might see Slingshot eventually this season work his way up to that podium. That'd be really exciting to see. As well as his rival Smoke, who's now in the Ferrari with Abrupt, who both of these guys are also coming off a pretty strong Season 8 showing as well. Smoke with his first podium PGR in a long time, and Abrupt, who had a really rough first half of the season, but then managed to bring it back in the second half. So he's on a bit of a hot streak as well. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing how Abrupt does here tonight. Abrupt has done similar to Vodka, has done pretty strong here at Hungary in the past. We've seen him finish on the podium here before, so would not be too surprised to see Vodka and Abrupt up near the front tonight. Abrupt in the last race, the last season, was also fighting with Vodka on Abu Dhabi. But here we have Slim joining us. Let's make sure we can hear Slim here in the chat loud and clear.
Sorry about that. I don't think I got your invites, and then someone was saying, yeah, he's saying you should join him.
All good. Yeah, I'm just make sure I can hear you there.
Check the audio. Yeah, I just clipped it.
Yeah, there we go. I got you. Yeah, I have to like manually include party audio with the way the
Twitch
with the new works streaming. Now.
I get it. Trust me, I'm gonna have to do that right after I jump out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but I was just saying that time before you joined that you finally got back to your baby. You're in the Mercedes once again. How does it feel? How is the car?
Oh, man, to be honest, I actually really like this car. It actually feels really good. I've only got to do a little preseason testing with it and some time trialing, but I like it. It feels nice and stable, nice stable platform, and for me, that's when I can actually push the car, is when I can actually trust it to be stable. So I love it. It's good to be back home at Brackley and Mercedes. You know, I did a great season over at Ferrari and enjoyed that. It's another one of my favorite teams.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to be back at Mercedes, and I've got a great teammate in Slingshot this season too, so I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, Slingshot, like I was saying, coming off a hot streak, had a really good season 8. Definitely one of the favorites to watch going into this season. Maybe not so tonight. This might not be one of his best tracks. We'll see, but definitely over the course of the season, you want to keep your eyes out for him. Now, as you were just saying, like the Mercedes, because I find that too, right? That it's not as loose as the Ferrari. Have you been finding that? That's like a little more stiff, more stable.
I do feel like that, and it's weird because if you can even compare the Mercedes, like in last year's game, in the year before, the Mercedes was a very loose car. And when guys would get in it, they would say that they'd struggle to basically get a hold of it, you know, but I was so used to driving it. So then when I got in the Ferrari, it kind of felt the same way. So it was a little loose at times, and if you didn't pay attention, it could basically catch you. But I enjoyed my season over at Ferrari, and I would say that the Mercedes is definitely a little bit more of a stable platform, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm looking forward to doing the season in the Mercedes.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Now, we're here at Hungary tonight. Obviously, you know, like you said yourself, this is a very tight circuit. Not too many overtaking opportunities. So, do you think, but, you know, of course anything can happen, but do you yourself think that qualifying pace is going to, you know, outplay anyone here? Or do you think that there's going to be a lot of variables at play with people in new cars and there's going to be a lot of mistakes going on here tonight?
No, I think exactly it. I'm not going to say mistakes, but I think there is going to be a lot of variables at play with it being, you know, season 9 now, and we're trying fixed setups for the first time. So it's going to create a lot of pack racing, which is going to be extremely exciting for the viewers and extremely exciting for you. But yeah, it's going to, you know, bring in a lot more racecraft, and there could be some wheel-to-wheel action. So yeah, a tough track to pass, but I think the pack racing is going to be there. So if a person makes a mistake, somebody's going to be there to basically take advantage of it. And then, yeah, I mean, everybody's pretty much in a new car this season. So having to basically, you know, deal with a new car, the new handling, new sound, you know, we're all creatures of habit. So I think that is definitely going to play into it a little bit as well.
Yeah, of course. And now going into this race, you know, looking at obviously fixed setups changes everything. However, you know, going off of previous data, saying some strong contenders we've had here before, you know, Vodka had his first podium in PGR here. Abrupt, you know, same thing in season 7, finished on the podium here. Do you think that they're the main ones to look out here for tonight? Because I'm also thinking that Larry and Fire could make a run for it here if they're smart.
Yeah, I mean, watch out for Larry this season for sure. He's going to put himself in the championship mix. You know, Vodka, like I said, won the last 2 races of season 8 when we switched to fixed setups. So he's looking very dangerous this season in the AlphaTauri. Home away from home for him, you know what I mean? It's another Red Bull car, so I think he'll feel a little bit more comfortable than some other drivers, to be honest. But he earned that, to be honest, with his finish last season. He earned that to be in the car that he really wanted to be in. And then watch out for Firewater. Firewater is going to make a claim back to getting himself back in the championship hunt this season. I think those are going to be your top 3 that are going to be battling it out. But watch out for Abrupt. Abrupt is a ton of speed right now, and he's carrying a ton of confidence coming off season 8. Watch out for Abrupt. Watch out for my teammate Slingshot. I think if he can keep it together, I think he's got a lot of pace as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of these new guys, what they've got to put together. You know, Droopley is looking pretty fast. Woolly when he comes on. And Silo Racing, I've heard a lot of great things about him. I heard he's got some pace too. So I think we have a really great grid this season, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I was saying you might not see like as much of it tonight as we are missing like 4 or 5 drivers, but
About
you
five
know,
drivers, yeah, about 5 drivers. So next week at Monza, like you said, we should have about 18 on the grid. But with the, online racing, online league racing, occasionally you're going to be missing people for work, family events, and stuff like that. So we do have about 5 guys that we're missing tonight, but still a nice, healthy grid with 13 great drivers. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's race and this whole season.
great man. Yeah, and one last thing because I'm just trying to correct me if I'm wrong, but because obviously you've been around since the beginning of PGR, you created it. Help inform me because I'm not sure. So Fire, has he ever been in the McLaren before? Because I feel like I've seen him racing in the McLaren before and doing really well. But I don't
He
know if I just
has
my
been in
miss.
the McLaren. That's one of his favorite cars. I think during his championship run, he was in the McLaren about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
So for him to be back home in that as well, I think the familiarity with that and his pace has been improving, especially on this game once he got the control of these 22 cars. So yeah, definitely watch out for him. Yeah, but he is back in the McLaren. And like I said, I've got to double check on that, but I do think when he had his championship run 2 seasons ago, I think it was in the McLaren again.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of well, slightly remembering because I wasn't quite in the league at that point, but I was like watching you guys still.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, that checks out. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, man, good luck tonight. First race of the season. Anything can happen. But of course, it's not the end of the world. It's only one race, so don't be too stressed out if things don't go to plan. But I know you didn't have like what you would consider your best season last season, but hopefully going forward in this Mercedes, the car ends up working out really well with you in Slingshot, and maybe I guess you're going to be shooting for a points finish here tonight, I'd assume.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the aim tonight is to get a points finish to start the season off. I finished P10 in season 8, so if I can finish better than P10 in season 9, especially with a more competitive grid, I'll be happy with that. So yeah, I'll try to get a
Yeah,
points finish tonight for Mercedes, and we'll try to put on a great show.
awesome, man. Well, good luck, and let's get this show on the road.
All right, bud. Thanks. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys, and with that, we're going to get into it here now. First race of PGR Season 9 here at Hungary. It's going to be 35 laps. Before that, we're going to get into a short qualifying session to set the grid for tonight. See how everyone's pace is. This is going to be our first chance at seeing how everyone's doing in their new cars. And just to see who has the pace here tonight, because obviously this is a track not normally used to start seasons, usually in the middle before the summer break, but we're starting off our season with this track. This track, some people works really well for some people, and for some people it doesn't. So, obviously, the pace that we see here tonight won't be the end-all, be-all. But it should give us an indication of who some of the fastest guys are at the very least. Like, I would be very surprised if the likes of Vodka, like Vodka and like Larry don't have good quality times. Larry with with a lot to prove. Was really down on himself for his performance last season, but now that he's in a new car, he's in the Red Bull. Maybe we'll see Larry make a run at the championship this time around and really show us what he can do. Now let's get everything set up here. And as always, I imagine, just going to go on a hunch here. As it's usually the case. Usually we see Vodka. Yeah, there he goes. Vodka Victory coming out of the pits right away. And just ahead of him, we have the Haas of Redline. Also coming out on the grid straight away. First two people out. Both looking to get the first time set. You also see Silo Racing is going to be the next person to come out. 17 minutes in this qualifying session. Just getting their tires warmed up, getting ready for the first hot laps of PGR Season 9. Now, a little bit of a forewarning to anyone who hasn't watched us here at PGR before tonight. In terms of commentary and generally everything, I'm pretty much off the cuff. Definitely not going to censor myself for anything, so if that affects anyone, I apologize, but there's nothing off limits here tonight for the most part. If things get wild, some stuff's going to be thrown around. I'm going to say some stuff. So if you're mindful towards profanity, watch out. But here we go, Vodka Victory. Starting the first hot lap of PGR Season 9. Hugging that curb as much as possible. We're going to get that apex. Really tricky turn here. Loops all the way around. Very easy to lose time there if you're not careful. See him also taking a lot of curb there as well. Like we said, Redline just behind in the Haas. Comes through the chicane here now. Takes it really cleanly. Nice. For Vodka. Here we go, coming up to the final sector of the hot lap here. Yeah, he takes this these last two sweeping turns. There we go, takes it pretty nicely. Let's see what time Vodka puts up. He puts up a 120.1 to start off here. Then we have Redline also coming around. He's gonna actually beat Vodka's time. 120 clean, followed by Silo with a 120.1. Two of the newer guys actually posting faster times to start off than Vodka. Slingshot with a 120.3. All fairly solid times starting off. These guys are out for blood here tonight, these new guys. You can tell they want to win. Very badly, but boom, there we go. Just after posting a solid time to start off, 120.1. Silo Racing loses it, slams into the wall, and that's going to be his qualifying session done there. As Drupally also posts a slightly faster time than Redline. Both the Haas's at the top currently. I see Slingshot going a little wide there as well. Watchman gets a time on the board. And Uncle Larry is the first person to post a 119 tonight in the Red Bull. It's going to put him up at the top, up at provisional pole for the moment. Obviously, everyone else is going to go around again, trying to improve, especially Vodka, I'd imagine. But he's not going to improve off that lap time. Drupally, though, it has saved a 10 here. Coming up to the final sector in a moment. Let's see how he is going in. Yeah, he's actually up 4/10. Drupally is. friend of another one of the new drivers, Wooly, who will be joining us next race. Oh, it goes a bit wide there, though. That's going to cost him. He had a really good lap time there. Cost him. Still, even with that mistake from Drupal, still posts a 119.6. This guy is really quick. Definitely going to be one to watch here tonight. But as we saw with Silo, you can have all the pace in the world, but if you make a mistake like that, you are done. You are out. And there goes Larry, saying, nah, man, watch this. Post a 119.2. Right off the bat there. We also have Firewater now on the board with a slow 122. And Fire still getting used to the McLaren, it seems. As for those who have not posted times quite yet to post time, he's coming around here now to the final sector. And just as we're saying that, Vodka also just barely beats Larry's time, and he moves up to provisional pole. This has been a crazy fight for pole here, starting off the season. At least four guys here who've had pole, but like I said, just that little bit of an edge to Vodka and Larry, both up with those 119.2s at the moment. Greybush gets on the board with a 120.5. It's going to put him in the middle for now of everyone. Silo, even though he DNF'd, still holding on with that 120.1, so he won't be starting from the back, regardless of what happened. Slingshot, though, great improvement from Slingshot, actually, with the 119.7. Moves up to 4th. So great stuff to Slingshot. Looking really strong. Looking like Slingshot actually has some pace here tonight. And then we get his teammate Slim, though, with the 122 down with Firewater at the moment. As we know, Slim has always been a guy for the consistency, though. So when other guys make mistakes, he's usually one of those who doesn't and capitalizes off others' mistakes. So we'll see if the pressure gets to the new guys at all here tonight in this first race of the season. Slim is going to have to go again if he wants to post a faster time. Great, there's Greybush going into the pits there now. Sling's not going to be improving his time there either. Looks like a lot of the guys are heading back into the pits to change up the tires. We have Abrupt, who's currently on his outlap right now. He's going to go and get a time on the board. Him and his teammate Smoke being some of the last people. Them with Fix there. Smoke, Abrupt, and Fix. 3 of the last guys to get times on the board. So here comes Abrupt. We're going to hold on with him as he starts his first hot lap of the session. Here we go. Rough starting his hot left, comes around the first turn. Taking this wide sweeper here in the Ferrari. You can tell he's having a lot more fun in this Ferrari than he was in that Williams last season. That thing was a kicker. A lot of guys, not a lot of other guys out right now. Looks like Firewater is still out though. He wants to improve that time, obviously, as you would imagine. We also have Watchman coming back out on an outlap. Him and Vodka and Alpha Tower is coming back out. Try to improve. A lot of really strong performances here tonight. Looks like Abrupt just posted now there is a glitch with the game, so it might not be the case. Sometimes it says it when it's not actually the case, but it says Abrupt had a purple sector 2 there. So he might actually have a really strong lap time. As he comes around the final turn. Tries to take it the best he can. Hugs that curb. He crosses the line. Abrupt takes provisional pole with that first 118 of the session, a 118.6, half a second faster than Vodka and Larry, a full second faster than Druply, who's currently in 4th. Wowzers. Hopping back to Firewater now. Had some trouble there on that chicane. He was up 3/10 coming into Sector 2. See how the rest of this lap progresses for him. But it does look like Smoke, before Firewater, Smoke is going to cross the line. He's going to post a 119.7. That's going to move up into 5th, just ahead of his rival Slingshot there. Both pretty even pace going off of that lap. Firewater still unable to improve. He's going to have to go around again. Yeah, good stuff to Smoke, though, moving up into 5th. Both the Ferraris looking really strong here tonight. Watchman is currently saving a lot of time here right now. Said there, you're saving a full second. Very lucky did not invalidate off that curb there. Currently up a full 2 seconds. Could improve his time a lot here, move up a couple positions. Struggled a little bit on that curb there, but coming around Sector 3 now, these final couple turns. See what he can do. Can he improve his time? And he crosses the line. Watchman does save a couple seconds. 121 moves up ahead of Fire and Slim for now. Good stuff, good stuff. Currently, Fix is the only person to not have a time on the board right now. Still waiting. 6 minutes left of the quali for him to come out. See who's coming right here. Smoke going back into the pits. Vodka actually stopping. Letting other guys go. As he's invalidated his lap, he's going to have to go around again. Checking with Fire here. He's about to save a lot of time. Let's see what he gets. Crosses the line. Firewater. 120.6, but it's still not enough to move him up. Only puts him ahead of Watchman. Firewater not looking the fastest here tonight so far. A lot of guys looking really strong. It's tough competition. Vodka going around once more. See, Druply is going to have to go around again as well. The invalidation. As we see here, yep. A lot of guys struggling on their laps here right now, not really saving any time. From what we can tell. We're going to hold on with Greybush for a moment here, as he's about to start the second sector. Come up to the chicane. Oh. Loses a little bit of traction there, but he recovers it. Quite nice. But still, Abrupt still holding the only 118 of the session so far. Abrupt's pace is just crazy here tonight so far. He definitely shooting for a win. To anyone who has not watched any of PGR so far, Abrupt has not had a win so far in the past 2 seasons of PGR. Hasn't had a win in a long time PGR, so you can tell he's definitely fighting for it here tonight. He wants to fight Vodka and Larry for that win. It's definitely looking like those 3 are going to be the top contenders here tonight, for sure. Greybush still in 8th, faster than Silo. Like I said, not the worst spot to start. You know, about right there in the middle with Red Line right now. Pretty even with him. So he should be a pretty strong battle between the 2 of them. During this race, Drupally and Vodka currently on new hot laps. Trying to take pole away from Abrupt. As we can see here though, Watchman struggling off track there. Having to return safely. Redline unable to improve his time there. Holding on with Vodka here now. Currently in Sector 2. Unfortunately, for Vodka, though, it does not look like he's going to be able to save time here. Unfortunately for him. Druply, though. Druply's up 3 tenths coming into this final sector here. So he actually might be able to move up a position. Depends on how he takes... Oh! Struggling for traction there. Goes off track. Oh, and he loses it. Unfortunately, Druply was unable to do anything about that there. He did the best he could, though. Very intelligently slowed her down and came back safest way possible. Slingshot, he's starting to hot lap here now. We have 2 minutes left of the qualifying. Looks like Greybush has taken his 120. He has retired from the race, or retired from the qualifying with that time. Pretty solid. Should give him a decent chance starting the race. Fix still has not come out of the pits this entire quali, though. It looks like he'll be starting the race from the back. Hasn't even put a time in. Abrupt and Vodka both in the pits right now. Are they going to take the times they got? Let's wait and see. Just holding out Slingshot here, currently 6th. Like you said, just a little slower than Smoke. If he could save even a little bit of time, he could start a position up on his rival here. Looks like he gotta be careful he doesn't get blocked or someone ahead of him. Going into this final sector. Slim is gonna start in 11th. Not a great start for him, but if people make mistakes over the course of the race, could definitely end up finishing in the points still. But Slingshot crosses the line, saves a couple tenths, 119.4. That is going to be enough to put him ahead of Smoke. Smoke is out there right now. He's going to have one chance. He's going to have to save a couple tenths if he wants to start ahead of Slingshot. The Haas of Redline, he's going to cross the line, no pun intended. 120 clean, not going to be enough to move him up though. Vodka invalidated his time. Looks like his qualifying session is done. His teammate Watchman currently starting his final lap of the quali. Slingshot's actually up another 2 tenths here. Going into the second sector. That's it for Abrupt and Vodka. Neither of them able to beat Abrupt's time. However, Druply was also able to enter the 118s there at the end with Abrupt. Not enough to beat Abrupt's time, but it did put him ahead of Vodka and Larry. So, it looks like Druply will be starting on the front row with Abrupt. Fighting for that win. You'll have to wait and see how this goes. Yeah, Larry's on. That's it. Larry is done. Slingshot's also done and able to improve. Redline unable to improve his time as well. Looks like he's done. And Watchman going off there. Yeah. And so that's it. That is it for our first qualifying session of PGR Season 9. And in a crazy turn of events with an amazing lap there to start us off. Abrupt is going to start the first race of the season on pole position. Abrupt and one of our new guys, Druply, starting on the front row, followed by Vodka and Uncle Larry. Wowzers. So we're going to have several guys fighting for the win here tonight. It's all going to come down to who can be consistent and not make those mistakes. And there we go. Also a really good start for Slingshot and Smoke, starting 5th and 6th in their brand new cars, Mercedes and Ferrari. So we're gonna see 2 of them fighting here tonight. both pretty close in pace. It'll be interesting to see. And it looks like they're near the end. Firewater was able to improve his time a little bit, get a 120. Still struggling, but will be starting in 7th, so definitely could gain positions over the course of the race. And Redline and Silo, who are both also new, starting 8th and 10th. Strange that Fix did not post a time, but I guess that's all you can do. So he'll be starting from the back. And with that, this is usually when the drivers like to take a quick 5-minute intermission to prepare for the full race, our full 35 lap race here in Hungary. So I will be back with you guys in 5 minutes time, unless one of the new drivers accidentally starts it, because it's very easy to accidentally hit the A button and get her rolling before people are ready. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. I think it happened at the start of last season too. So, but if things go to plan, I will talk to you guys in 5 minutes time. Alrighty, and we're back. Gonna get into this here now after a quick formation lap to set the grid. Looks like everyone rocking a little bit of different tire choices here. Most people opting for starting on either the mediums or the hards. We see a couple people there, Slingshot, Redline, and Silo, all starting on the soft tire. So we'll see how that works out for them. Maybe someone can get the strategy right here tonight and everything pans out. Abrupt will be starting on the mediums, so he will have the faster compound over the likes of Vodka and Druply. And so will Larry, so maybe we'll see Larry try to move up a couple positions off the beginning. But yeah, very interested to see how the soft tire works out for Slingshot. Maybe he's planning on doing a long stint on the hards later. Or maybe Slingshot is planning for, you know, with new drivers and all that, maybe he's planning for an early safety car. So maybe he's starting on the softs, planning for that early safety car. So then he can use up the softs, and then boom, safety car, and go to his other tires. I don't know, we'll have to see, but his teammate Slim will be starting on the mediums, as well as everyone else in the back. Only time will tell how it will pan out for them. Here we go, setting the grid. Lining up. Most of the guys not parking properly, it looks like. Here we go. Of course, F1's not going to give us a good angle. That's all he can do. And it's lights out and away we go here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Abrupt starting off here, but looks like Druply trying to make a run at him. Up alongside all four drivers. Trying to see what they can do here. AlphaTauri and Haas going wheel to wheel, Vodka and Druply. Vodka pulls ahead of Druply, moves up in the second position right out the gate. And right away, Fix is disqualified for being parked. I guess he didn't leave the starting line. Yeah, he didn't. So Fix joined the session but never actually raced. That's going to be it for him. And this race is underway here. Slingshot and Smoke already going at it. Smoke having to come back on track there. Greybush already moved up a couple positions, up into 7th here. And also trying to make a run on Smoke. Feeling confident here tonight, it looks like. Guys in the middle getting a little bit of a gap between Abrupt, Vodka, and Druply. But Larry just behind Druply, trying to move up to that 3rd position as well. So we'll see how that plans out for them. Greybush having to watch out for the attack from Silo, racing behind. As Silo comes up, goes wheel to wheel with Greybush, but is unable to make the clean overtake there. Like I said, very hard to overtake here. Looks like he's trying to go for another move there as well. Around Greybush. And it looks like he's gonna go for it there. But they're both going wheel to wheel around that entire 3rd sector. But Silo does pull ahead of Greybush. For the time being, like I said, he is on the soft, so he will have to pit before Greybush more than likely. Firewater now currently back in the 10th. Having a bit of trouble here tonight. Like we said, we've got 12 drivers left out. Fix was disqualified right away. It looks like he wasn't even here tonight. I don't even know why he was. It's like he joined, but then he wasn't racing. I'm not really unsure what happened with him. But we got Smoke here in the Ferrari. Still trying to pick a moment to get back at his rival Slingshot. Though Slingshot, like I said, is on the faster tire, so he's more likely gonna have to wait for just for Slingshot's tires to get a bit degraded. But then now he also has to watch out for Silo Racing, who after getting ahead of Greybush has caught up to the back of Smoke and Slingshot now. And is waiting for his chance to make a move. Abrupt setting the fastest lap of the session for the moment. That 122.2. DRS is now enabled. Now is the moment to see what people are made of. Silo and Smoke both trying to go for moves on Slingshot. Smoke obviously in the better position, but still unable to get it. Coming around the turn here. Smoke defending hard against Silo from behind. Very solid first couple of laps here. Everyone driving pretty clean. Top 3 guys getting a little spaced out now. Well, I should say top 2 guys, Abrupt and Vodka, getting fairly spaced out now. Larry's still clawing at Drupally. Wants to move up on him so he can push up to the other 2. And in fact, let's jump up to that real quick. Larry in Sector 2 here now, really close to Drupally. Drupally also messing up there a little bit, going a little wide. Larry could definitely make a move on Drupally, especially coming... Oh, and Drupally goes way wide there as well. So Larry, yep, is cleanly able to overtake Drupally and moves up into the 3rd position. Coming back to Silo now, like I said, still clawing at Smoke. Trying to pull ahead of him in this DRS zone. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Smoke actually tries to take the position from Slingshot. Doesn't work out. Slingshot still in 5th. All these guys pretty bunched together though. Looks like Drupally actually making some mistakes here now. He's dropped down. He's down with the rest of the guys. Has actually lost the position to Slingshot and to Smoke. Drupally losing positions rapidly here on these hard tires. Having a Charles Leclerc moment here. Silo also gets past Drupally. Still all clean so far. A lot of these guys, like I said, 4 cars, like all super tight, but all super clean. But we have our first spin of the night. Greybush spins in his Red Bull. So he's dropping all the way down to the back of the grid now. So he's going to have a mountain to climb, especially on a track like this, if he wants to get back in the points. And at least have a points finish for his first race in PGR of the season. Well, like we said, it's never over. There's plenty of opportunities for someone to go crazy. And for Greybush to make another move up the order. So we'll just have to hold on and see. Slim, actually, Firewater messing up here. Losing position to Slim and Watchman. Firewater, similar to, even more so than Greybush, because Greybush actually even had better pace than Firewater. So Firewater having a real stinker of a night here for his first race in Season 9. Having a real stinker. But like I said, it's not over for Greybush yet. Only one spin, still not the end of the world. Can definitely, only down a couple seconds, can definitely come back if things, if something goes terribly wrong for someone else here. So far, everything going pretty smoothly. Drupally, though, Drupally has also made mistakes now. Like we said, has lost all those positions and dropped down to 7th. You know, he was up there with Vodka and Larry. Now Drupally down 7th. So he's going to have to make a run up. Make a couple overtakes. Though he is on the hard tire, so a lot of these guys ahead of him might pit before him. To make his job easier. I'd assume. He just has to try not to lose too much time on them. Looking at Silo Racing here now. Still trying to make that move on Smoke and Slingshot. Really wants to keep up with the rest of the guys. These top guys all getting fairly spaced out now. They've all had clean air to drive, whereas all these guys in the middle have been really bunched up and unable to gain any time on each other, as we can see here. But Smoke is also clawing at Slingshot as well. wants to move up on him. Can't really do anything there. Going into chicane. They're still all pretty tight. Like, these guys might have already gotten by, but there's very few opportunities to get by on this track. There's basically just the 2 DRS zones. And that chicane there if you're daring. And that's kind of all you got to work with here. But Uncle Larry takes the fast lap away from Abrupt for the time being. And here we go into the DRS zone. We got a big DRS train here. 5 cars all back to back. Going up here, Smoke going for a move on Slingshot. And it looks like he's pulled it off, but oh, he messes up. Smoke has to adjust there, lose control of his wheel there for a second. And just like that, just a little wheel jerk like that, just a little tiny mistake costs Smoke so many positions. Has dropped all the way down now to 7th, 8th with Redline. Going wheel to wheel with Redline as Slingshot and Silo and Drooply have all gotten by. Still ahead. Smoke still managed to hold ahead of Redline. It looks like Redline made a little bit of a mistake, but yeah, crazy stuff there. Big mistake from Smoke. That's what happens sometimes. You go for those moves, but then on your exit, you start to lose a bit of traction. That's what happened to Smoke. He had to make that adjustment, and that cost him enough time because everyone was so tight for everyone else to get by. So now Slingshot is holding on to 5th, and Drooply has moved up into 4th. Or sorry, Silo Racing has moved up into 4th. Drooply currently holding 6th position. I'm going to try to take these hards as far as he can. And we'll see. Greybush not too far behind Slim. Both of them fighting to stay in the points right now. Smoke, after his mistake, wants to get ahead of Drooply once again. Going into this second DRS zone. Let's see what he can do. Oh! He was thinking about it, but nah. Unable to make the move on Drooply there. He's going to have to wait for his next chance. And everyone is getting a little spread out here now. 8 laps into the race, but like we said, a couple of these guys are on the soft tires. I imagine we're going to see them start to pit soon. These softs aren't going to last too much longer. Only another couple laps at most. So shortly we should see some of these guys like Silo and Slingshot and Redline all pit, which is going to let Drooply and Smoke go on for a bit longer. But Smoke spins! Coming through the 3rd sector there, Smoke spins. Unfortunate for Smoke. As, like I said, what did I say? Slingshot pulls into the pits as soon as Smoke spins. Oh, and that's it now. Smoke is all the way at the back of the grid. In his first race with the Ferrari. Smoke has dropped all the way to the back now. It's going to be a hard time recovering for Smoke. That might be it for him. He's spinning again. Is that it for Smoke? He's so far behind now. Like I said, Slingshot coming out of the pits there now. On the medium tires. 2 spins in a row from Smoke there in the 3rd sector. In the Ferrari. Like we said, it's a huge jump going to the Ferrari. The car is really loose compared to some other cars. But now we're on board with Greybush, who wants to, like I said, still fighting with Slim now. For those positions. So we're going to hold on with Greybush for the time being. Like I said, it's not completely over for Smoke yet. There's still a lot of racing to go, but it's going to be really tough. Even more tough than it was for Greybush after his spin. Smoke wasted a lot of time there. Now Silo pulling into the pits. Won't be too long now before we see Redline as well pulling into the pits. Yeah, and what do we say? There we go. Red line into the pits as well. Both of them. Slingshot. They're going to come out in the mediums as well. Looks like it's Silo coming out in the mediums. Change up. Yeah, also coming in the mediums. So all three of these guys going for the two-stop here. See if that pays off for them. Second DRS zone here for Greybush, right behind Slim. Haven't pitted yet, currently sitting 6th and 7th. Both of them just behind Firewater and the McLaren. On the hard compound tire. Smoke's now having to pit. Going to the hard tire to try to do the one stop for the rest of the race, I would assume. That's his best shot. Try to at least get some points for Ferrari since his teammate Abrupt has been holding the lead this entire race over Vodka and Larry. Amazing race from Abrupt so far. Very clean. Fighting for that win. And Watchman picks up the first penalty of the race, 3-second time penalty. But still holding 3 seconds. We'll see how that really affects him once he pits. What he's working with. For now, we're just holding out Greybush, who's still behind Slim. But yeah, that's really unfortunate to see. Smoke, his first race in the Ferrari, was looking really strong up there fighting, and all it takes is that mistake, and then boom, you're down at the back. Just like that. Unbelievable. But that's what happens in the Ferrari sometimes. The car is extremely loose, and all our drivers are on no assists. No traction control whatsoever. Abrupt though. There we go. A huge mistake. As we were just... Oh, and Silo picks up a 3-second penalty as well. So as we were just talking about Abrupt and how he was leading this race so far on this first stint. However, as we were saying that, Abrupt has now received a 3-second time penalty, which is going to be huge motivation for Vodka and Larry to close the gap to him and gain a position over him. Especially for Vodka, who is already on a different strategy anyway on the hards. It's music to his ears. For sure. A couple of these guys are going together here. Greybush, Slim. And Silo Racing. Silo Racing. Going into DRS zone right behind Greybush. Huge DRS train with these 4 cars. Who's going to make a move here? Slim in the Mercedes. Silo going wide on the curb there. Keeps it together, still on track. But at the back, Greybush like so close to Slim, wants to get by him so badly, but still hasn't been able to. No movements there off that DRS zone. All these guys are crazy close right now. Oh, but there we go. Greybush with his second spin of the race so far tonight. So he's going to, all his positions he gained earlier, he's now going to lose once again. Classic start to the season for Greybush. He had a terrible start to last season as well. Didn't finish in the points for the full first half of the season. And now he's having similar issues once again. Very unfortunate for Greybush. But as we're saying, Silo Racing and Watchman both have penalties. That is going to affect them in the long run. Slingshot now. Watchman making mistakes. Just going to let guys by him. Looks like Redline had to go a little wide there. Because the whole ghosting with Watchman was a little strange. Watchman going into the pits. So Redline's going to move on ahead of him. And Watchman picks up another penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's really going to hurt Watchman's point scoring chances. But both Mercedes drivers doing pretty solidly here so far. We'll see how their race progresses. Now Vodka has, you know, with the medium's tires starting to get worn out, Vodka has managed to start closing the gap to Abrupt. Haven't watched these guys for a lot of the race, so we're going to hop up with them now for a moment. Going in the DRS zone. Vodka just slightly out of range of Abrupt, it looks like. Not going to be able to make it off the first DRS zone, I wouldn't say. Might try for something off on the second one, though. Let's see here what he can do on the second one. But it looks like he's still just barely out of range to Abrupt. Yeah, not quite, not quite. Still unable to close that gap to Abrupt. But Abrupt has that penalty anyway, so for Vodka it doesn't really matter. He just has to keep doing his race and doing what he's doing. He wants to get that win. Silo, though, going for the move. On Firewater. Does it very convincingly. Pulls up alongside. Makes the clean overtake. Silo moves up into 5th, though he does have that penalty. And Firewater has yet to pit. Firewater is fighting him for the position, though, but Silo doing a great job here in the Williams. Making it look easy. There we go. Silo has managed to pull ahead of Firewater a little bit there. Good stuff to him. Keeping that 5th position. Jumping back up to Vodka and Larry now, who have managed to close the gap to Abrupt by a lot now. We'll have to wait and see just how long these 4 guys at the front manage to take their tires. Slim, Firewater, and Greybush also have not pitted yet. Silo actually takes fastest lap of the race right now at a 120.6. So he actually has great pace right now, even though he's in 5th. Vodka's still waiting to make that move. On Abrupt, the question is, when will Abrupt pit? When will he decide to pit? The guys are starting to catch up to him now. Larry also having close distance, starting to get in range of these 2 guys. Apologies. These guys, though, still unable to make overtakes on each other just yet. Ghost car of smoke in front of them. The AlphaTauri, the Red Bull, and the Ferrari all fighting here. Trying to get one up on each other, but still unable to do so. They're going to have to go again and wait for another opportunity. We'll have to wait and see. So far this race, there's been a lot of little battles going on throughout this entire race so far. Very awesome to see, and everyone's kept it all pretty clean so far. Only been a couple spins here so far, no big incidents. Halfway into the first race of PGR Season 9. Everything going pretty smoothly here. Larry trying to swoop around Vodka there, but unable to, still a little too far off. But as we see, Abrupt finally makes a decision to pit there. So there's Abrupt making his pit stop for the race. Going to be trying to do it in the 1 stop. I'm assuming he's going to be going to the hard tires now, yep, for the remainder of the race. That's his plan. He has pitted. Larry still out there on the mediums. We'll see when he decides to pit. As well as Slim and Greybush All of them gone pretty far on their mediums. We'll see when they decide to pit. As there goes Slim into the pits, yep, as we said. We're holding on with Larry right now, who's currently just behind Vodka, who is now taking the lead of the race as Watchman picks up a 3-second time penalty. Once again, Watchman with all those penalties. Those are going to add up, and those are definitely going to affect his chances of finishing the points here tonight. As we see Graybush also pitting. So Larry, the only person out now on these old mediums. So will Larry decide to pit this lap? Let's wait and see what he does here coming into the third sector. Is he going to pull into the pits? And he does. There he goes. He was thinking about it, but in the end he decided now it's time to pit. He's going to come down the hards to finish the race. Because these guys got to try to cut out Vodka if they want to win. So now it's to wait to see how long Drupally and Vodka are going to take these hard tires. What they're able to do exactly, you know. But yeah, Drupally definitely has come into this league and already made a huge bang. Very quick indeed. Up there fighting with the top guys right out the gate. Here we are on board with Slingshot now in 7th, who's currently just behind Firewater and McLaren, though Firewater has not pit yet, so definitely a position to be gained here for Slingshot once Firewater pits. But more importantly, Abrupt is now fresh out of the pits, and same as Larry. And both Abrupt and Larry are currently neck and neck with each other here, though Abrupt does have a penalty and Larry doesn't. So right now, Larry definitely has the advantage over Abrupt, even though they're half a second apart. Larry so far driving a very smooth race. And if we remember last season, we had a sprint race here where I believe Larry won. So Larry looking very much back in form here tonight so far, to how we all remember him being. As you can see here, Slim trying to get in rain. He's in DRS range of Firewater. Wants to make a move on him. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2, though. Looks like the Red Bull of Smoke has made a mistake. He has crashed into the wall there in Sector 2, and he is out of the race. That unfortunate for Smoke. His first race of PGR Season 9 in the Ferrari ends in a DNF. That is it for Smoke. And with that, we are going to have a full safety car out as Watchman picks up a driver penalty for speeding under the safety car. But yeah, so that is now our first safety car of the race. First full safety car of the race. You can see Vodka being like perfect time to pit. So I imagine him and Drupally both gonna get a pretty free pit stop here. As well as Fire also gone 18 laps on these hards. Vodka coming out of the pits now. Drupally also going into the pits. I'd imagine once Firewater makes his way around, he'll probably be going into the pits as well. As we'll see here now in a second. Larry also going back into the pits. Very unfortunate for Larry and Abrupt though. Yeah. Very unfortunate safety car for Larry and Abrupt, though, as both literally just pitted for their hard tires that time. Terrible timing for them, so both of them are going to have to pit once again. Yeah, and as you can see here, Larry now going back to the mediums. Finish on them. So you can see Larry now in 5th, coming out, going to be starting right behind Drupally. Silo now in 3rd, but he's on these 10-lap old mediums, so 15 laps to go. Definitely doubtful if he'll be able to finish the race on these mediums. Most likely going to have to pit once again. And like we said, though, Abrupt in second. Very unfortunate timing for him. He was leading most of the race, but then pit for those hards, and now the safety car. So this really might affect Abrupt's chances of winning here tonight, unfortunately. He is definitely going to have to fight hard for this if he wants it. As we can see here now, Watchman and Greybush also coming out of the pits on fresh tires. Oh, and it looks like Larry makes a mistake under the safety car there. Spins, yeah, Larry spinning under the safety car on these cold mediums. So he's now going to be starting even further behind off the safety car. Larry's race kind of unraveling here now due to the safety car, unfortunately. You can see here now, Slingshot also pulling into the pits. He knows he's not going to be able to finish this race on those mediums. He's got to go to get his next pit stop now done out of the way, which he does. He goes to a different set of mediums. Surprised, Red Line F1 did not follow in his footsteps. Maybe we'll see him do it at the end of this lap, perhaps. As him and Silo are both still out on these 11-lap old mediums. Going into this race start now. But yeah, unfortunate for, even more so, I didn't even think about that, even more so, horrible for Abrupt that, you know, he was leading most of the race. The safety car came out right after he had just pitted, and it was his own teammate who crashed and caused the safety car. So yeah, definitely a rough start to the season for Smoke and Ferrari, but Abrupt's still out there, can definitely still pull off some great points for Ferrari on this first race. He's able to keep it together. 11 drivers left out on the grid. So still opportunity for, even though Greybush made all those... Oh, Droopy looking a little shaky there, a little wobbly. And very sketchy with his teammate Redline right behind him. Going into the restart. But with only 11 drivers left now, definitely still a good opportunity for... especially with all those penalties from Watchmen. Definitely still possible for Greybush to finish in the points after those mistakes he made. Definitely still possible. And get double points finished for Red Bull. Safety car still out. Gonna go around for one more lap, it seems. It looks like everyone who's decided to pit has pitted, so these guys are staying out in these 12-lap old mediums. I don't know about that, but it's what they're doing, so... You know, see how it goes for them. There's gonna be some crazy scraps. You know, it's perfect. Just as everything was getting a little spaced out, now we got the safety car. Everything's gonna be spread. You know, everything was getting a little bit too. You know, the spaces were too spread out. Everything's tight once again going into this restart. However, Vodka is the only one out of the top 3 on the grid right now with no penalties. So this is the perfect opportunity for Vodka Victory to hold the lead for the remainder of this race. Especially, like we said, with Abrupt on the slower tires and Silo still most likely needing to pit, and both of them have those penalties, so... But it's looking like it could be a very strong finish for the Haas team, though. We'll have to wait and see. I imagine it's going to say the safety car is in here in a second. And yep, safety car is in this lap. With 12 laps to go. 13 laps to go, I should say, of the race. Let's see who's able to catch who sleeping here on this restart. Let's see things from Silo's perspective. This restart from Silo's perspective. Here we go. Race is back on. Silo is right behind Abrupt in the Ferrari now. Looking to make a move on him. Even though DRS has not been re-enabled just yet. Going side by side with Abrupt. But we missed that due to the camera angles from the game. But Silo, in his attempt to pull ahead of Abrupt, actually made a huge error and spun out. He's now dropped all the way to the back. Huge mistake from Silo. That's looking like ropes for him in his first race here in PGR. Though we do have Druply now fighting for a position with Abrupt here. Watchman receiving another penalty. But yeah, didn't quite catch due to the shitty camera angles of this game. Wasn't able to see exactly what happened there with Silo, but it looks like it looked to me like in his attempt to get past Abrupt, he ended up spinning out and crashing. So he's now all the way at the back. Which sucks for him, but you know. Most likely wasn't going to be able to take those tires to the end anyway. Wasn't looking like. Redline, though, now has Uncle Larry on his back to deal with. Larry looking to get by him on the straight here. Popping that ERS. Popping that battery. Using up that battery that he got stored up. And, Larry went for the move on Redline, but severely messed up there and just went straight ahead. Didn't even turn. His car literally didn't even turn. So now Larry has dropped all the way down to 6th behind Redline and Firewater. Now Firewater is the one who's looking to make a move on Redline. Silo having to pit here now, most likely going to the softs to finish the race, yep. And hoping for other people to mess up if he wants to gain positions. Definitely could still finish in the points though. But yeah, as we just saw there, Firewater. Nudges right into the back of Redline there. Firewater definitely looking really shaky here tonight. Even with what he's done so far. But now all these guys are really bunched up. We have a big DRS train here right now. Vodka retakes fast slap of the race with a 120.8 from Silo. DRS has now been re-enabled. Huge train going on here from Greybush all the way up to Redline. Let's see exactly what happens here. Doesn't look like anyone was quite able to overtake there, but DRS is now re-enabled. Watchman has gone into pit once again. Vodka Victory. But huge thing for the fate of the race, though. Vodka Victory also receives a 3-second time penalty. So now both people at the front of the race, Vodka and Abrupt, both have 3-second time penalties. So if Vodka wants to win this race, he's going to have to keep a 3-second lead over Abrupt and Druply in order to come out the winner here tonight. He's going to have to fight for it. Still with a huge DRS train though here. Firewater goes for an amazing move on Redline. What an overtake from Firewater there in the McLaren. Moves up into 4th. Definitely overtake of the race so far. Crazy overtake from Firewater there. Super clean though. Did it so smoothly. Awesome from Firewater there. Redline messing up a little bit though. Goes a little bit wide. Which also allows Larry to get by him as well as Slingshot. But Redline goes into the pits. Okay, Redline has pitted. He's realized he can't take these mediums to the end. But also receives a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's going to hurt him in the long run here though, unfortunately. As we can see though, Greybush coming up alongside Slingshot though. Going a little wide run alongside that curve there. Not quite able to get by. But yeah, Redline coming out on the softs to finish the race. Crazy stuff going on here. All meanwhile, Drupally has been behind Abrupt here, second and third. Drupally with no penalties though, so things go as they are. Drupally will finish ahead of Abrupt. As long as Drupally can stay with no penalties. Silo retakes fastest lap of the race, 120.7, even though he's down in 11th. Like you said, he's on these soft tires, I guess, and those, you know, the other guys haven't been on the softs the whole race, so I guess it makes sense. Here we go, Drupally now. Like I said, just behind Abrupt. Looking to make a move on him. Going into this DRS zone, let's see what Drupally can do. If he's able to make a move on Abrupt or if he's too far back. Let's see, he is in range. Not able to do it off the first one. We'll see what he can do on the second one. No, not quite. Still holding on behind Abrupt, but again, even if he doesn't get ahead of Abrupt, he'll still finish ahead of him anyway. But there we go, Watchman disqualified from session for ignoring his drive-through penalty from earlier. So that's it for Watchman. His race is going to be over. That's going to put Silo Racing back in the points after all that. As Silo posts an even faster lap from before. Ooh! But that is Greybush's third spin of the race. Greybush, like... Oh, and spins again into the wall. Loses his wing there. His front wing. Having a hard time even backing up. Man, what a... Greybush here. Again, only 10 drivers on the grid, so he will still finish in the points. But my God, this man has spun here 3 times tonight. He's had it really rough. But fortunately for him, as long as he can finish the race, he will still finish in the points for Red Bull and his teammate Larry Turd. But my God, he's been struggling. Meanwhile, his teammate Larry currently up just behind Firewater right now. While Drupally is still behind Abrupt, unable to get ahead of him though. Going to the second DRS zone, Larry behind Firewater. This is where the action is right now. All these guys fighting up for these positions. Vodka though has still managed to hold that 3 second. But then again, they're even penalties, aren't they? Let's check the penalties here. Yeah, even penalties. So technically, yeah, as long as Vodka holds a 3 second gap to Drupally, he's fine. And he has a 5.5 second one to Abrupt. So right now he's pretty clear. He's in open air, in that clean air. Greybush, due to the wing damage, is forced to pit again though, coming out on the soft tires. But like we said, even if he finishes, he'll still get a point. So that's good stuff. Larry here now just behind Firewater, one of his old rivals. We'll see if he's able to make a move on Firewater going into the DRS zone. Firewater definitely still with the overtake of the race though, in my opinion, with that sick move on Redline. Drupally still held up behind Abrupt. Let's see here now, going into the DRS zone, can Larry make the move on Firewater in the McLaren? Here they go, wheel to wheel, around the first DRS zone. Coming into the second one. Also going wheel to wheel. Oh, boom! Oh! A double spin! There's a double spin out, though. For the McLaren and the Red Bull driver. That is a racing incident, in my opinion, between Uncle Larry and Firewater there. Both of them coming around the apex of that turn. Firewater, if it's not a racing incident, though, I would say it was Firewater did turn right into Larry. But more than likely that was a racing incident between Firewater and Larry there. Larry does take the position over Firewater though for the moment. Holding that 5th over Firewater is now in 6th. Though Slingshot has now, in that scuffle, Slingshot has managed to move up into 4th for Mercedes. Mercedes currently 4th and 7th, so great race for them so far tonight. Druply now still just behind Abrupt. Will he be able to do anything in this DRS zone? Let's wait and see. Unable to make the move off the first DRS zone. Let's wait for the second one here. Though Abrupt in the Ferrari spins! I believe. I don't think Druply hit into the back of him. Oh, but Druply spins as well! Goes way off track. Holy shit, what a crazy end to this race here tonight. Abrupt's going to take the position back over Druply. Wow, so I guess it evens out in the end. Even if Druply did hit into the back there to Abrupt somehow, that's going to move Slingshot up into the podium positions. All Slingshot has to do is stay ahead of Druply for the final 5 laps of this race if he wants to finish the race in the podium. Like we said, Watchman is out of the session. Greybush and Silo, even though they've had rough races, are still holding on to try to get points. Same thing with Redline. But like we said, wow, so many things happening there all at once. Larry and Firewater with the double spin. Now currently, Larry also, I guess, messed up again. Now he's down 7th behind Slim. Slim gaining the position over Larry on these hard tires. So now both both Mercedes are 3rd and 6th for Slingshot and Slim. Firewater currently in 5th in the McLaren, though. Great recovery from him over the course of this race. You got to give him props for that. Bit of a racing incident there with Larry, but you know, it is what it is. Druply, though, he is gaining time, though, and there's still 4 laps. There's still lots of time, though, for him to gain it on Slingshot. Unfortunately, if Slingshot wants to win this race, not only is he going to have to be clean, but he's also going to have to keep that gap to Druply. Because Druply wants to get that podium for his first race of this season. You can clearly tell as we see Firewater messing up again. Now he's dropped behind Larry. Overtaking position. Slim now moving up into 5th. Great stuff to him. Both the Mercedes drivers. They only have 4 laps left to go in this race. This could be an amazing finish for them. It all comes down to if Slingshot is able to keep that gap to Druply, that 2-second gap that he has accumulated right now to Druply for the remainder of this race. Vodka clearly holding the lead in this race. Looks like he's going to secure the bag here pretty cleanly, followed by Abrupt in 2nd place, as we had predicted. Run for their money, but making mistakes over the course of the race. But now, as we see, though, Slingshot has lost a lot of time there. This lap, it's been a really rough lap for Slingshot. You can see the pressure is starting to get to him now, only 4 laps away from a possible podium finish. Now Druply, it just sucks that only person behind him is a new driver. We have Druply, but Druply does go a bit wide there, though, so he's going to lose some time again to Slingshot once again. But yeah, so now it's crazy that Druply's able to recover so much time even after that crazy spin going off track there that he had in the Haas, and that the Haas is still functional, because he honestly could have, you know, written off the car there from that spin. Like, that was such a bad spin. Very lucky he didn't injure the car. But now he's only going into the 4th lap, 4 laps to go here in Hungary. Now starting to get within DRS range of Slingshot. So you can imagine within the next lap or so, he's going to try to make a move on Slingshot. Slingshot's going to have to defend, as Fernando Alonso once said, he's going to have to defend like a lion if he wants to keep Druply behind him, though Druply does have more pace, as you can tell. New to the league. Bit of a piss off. You know, we like to see, you know, I like seeing some of the old guard do well. Kind of annoying to see a new hotshot just come in here and steal a podium with someone who's wanted for so long. But it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see, because it looks like Druply is within DRS range of Slingshot now, so he's going to be able to make a clean overtake on him in Sector 1. If Slingshot isn't careful, and all Slingshot can really do is just hope that Druply messes up here in one of these last couple laps. Though his teammate Slim having an amazing race, great race for Slim here so far in 5th. Though he does have Larry behind. Larry is going to try to make that position back before the end of the race. But still, 5th or 6th, whatever, still a great race for Slim. But here we go. First, Slingshot still holding it over Druply even after that first DRS zone. Let's see how he does with the second one. Going on board with Druply now. Tries to make a move on Slingshot. Not quite. Slingshot, great defense there. Cuts him off, says nope. I'm not giving it to you. Great stuff here on lap 33. Druply going way wide there, has to come right back on track. Very dangerous stuff. Managed to keep it together coming into the chicane here. A lot of the third-person angles was not giving me the views here tonight. Not really sure why. But now, as we can also see, Larry has started to close the gap to Slim, though, a bit as well. So both these Mercedes drivers fighting to defend their positions right now. But here we go. 2 laps left of the race. We have yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like Uncle Larry in the Red Bull has screwed up once again, unfortunately. Druply still unable to get past Slingshot. Coming into the second DRS zone, though. He's right behind Slingshot on his left side. He wants to make a move here on Slingshot coming into this turn. Is he going to give room? He backs off. He does the smart thing. Good stuff to Druply. That could have been a really bad accident there, but Druply managing to ease off there and avoid it, you know. Could have been very bad. Slingshot turning in there. Tries to make a bit of a move there. Seeing if he could gain anything on him there as well. Very smart, but unable to. Very smart driving from Druply. I got to give him that here. Being really clean about it. But yeah, in that kerfuffle, Larry made another mistake, so now he's dropped down to 7th. Silo Racing in 8th, but as he picks up another time penalty. But yeah, Larry now in 7th has dropped down, so it looks like Slim is still holding that 5th position, though now he has Firewater behind him to defend from for the final lap. So now, Druply still in DRS range of Slingshot. There's 1 lap left to go. Final lap of the race. This is going to be his last opportunity to overtake Slingshot for the podium. Let's see what happens. He's coming around the inside. Unable to do anything off the first DRS zone. Let's check the second DRS zone. Tries to make a move. But unable to. Slingshot cuts him off. Slingshot holds him off. That's both the DRS zones on the final lap. All Slingshot has to do now is defend for the final lap of the race to get his first podium in eons in PGR. Fighting against this new blood of Druply, who's behind him like a fucking hawk. Let's see how it goes. Firewater also fighting behind Slim as well. Slim holding off Firewater very bravely as well. Both these Mercedes drivers driving fucking amazingly here tonight. It's really something to behold. Defending like a hawk. You can tell Druply wants to make a move here going into the final sector. He really wants that podium. But unable to there. Coming into the final sector. He wants to make a move around the outside of Slingshot. Really trying for it. Slingshot defend him. Coming around the outside. This is the podium fight here between Slingshot and Druply. It's going to be crossing the line. Looks like Slingshot is just losing it. He loses to Druply there on the final turn. And that is it. That is your race. Slingshot on the last turn loses the podium to Druply. Our podium tonight is Vodka, Abrupt, and Druply. And that is it. Wowzers, what a fight for the end there between Druply and Slingshot for who was going to get on the podium. Unfortunately, Slingshot just misses by 1, all because of that final sector, loses out on the podium to Druply there. Though you got to give it to Druply, he did it very cleanly though. Could have went for a lot of stupid moves, but didn't opt for it. Made it very clean there at the very end. Made it a very exciting finish, and also to Slim. So both Mercedes, strongest team coming out of this first race. Slingshot and Slim finishing 4th and 5th here. Great stuff to the Mercedes drivers. And congratulations to our race winner tonight, Vodka Victory. You know, started off with Abrupt in the lead, but due to a really terribly timed safety car for Abrupt, Vodka was able to gain the momentum and take the lead of the race and win here tonight in Hungary, where he got his first podium finish here in PGR in Season 7. Third and finished here 2nd, and now he's won the Hungarian Grand Prix in the AlphaTauri. So good stuff to Vodka Victory. Starts the season off with a bang, taking the championship lead. But Abrupt not too far behind. Looking like Abrupt is definitely going to be a strong challenger for him, as well as his new driver in Druply. Seeing how this season goes. That Haas driver looking really strong. For driver of the day, I have to give driver of the day to Slim Fug. Didn't really have much pace here in qualifying, but was able to pull it back during the race. Went from like the back near like 11th, all the way up into 5th. So good stuff to Slim Fug. He is our driver of the day tonight. Him and his teammate Slingshot did amazingly, and good recovery for Firewater as well, pulling up into 6th position in that McLaren. He had a rough start as well. But yeah, we're going to get our, before we end things off here tonight, we're going to get our podium in here tonight for a quick post-race interview with Vodka, Abrupt, and Druply. So bear with me, folks, as we get the three of them in here for our post-race interviews. Hello, hello.
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, you got your audio included there?
I do.
Perfect. What a race. What a race, fellas. Lots of battles going on throughout the entire pack there, from the front to the back. Really exciting stuff. Obviously, we'll start off with Vodka here, man. Good job with, like I said before the race, you got your first podium in PGR here. You finished second to Benzo here last time, and now you've won. How does it feel to finally win the Hungarian Grand Prix?
I mean, it feels great. Trying to conquer every track in the calendar, and I mean, yeah. Also with the first race, it's great. Had a good start, and I just kept my head down the whole race, and that's all she wrote.
That's it, yeah. Once you and Abrupt got into clean air, you guys are both able to accumulate those leads. But as we saw there, that safety car came out at a really bad timing for both Larry and Abrupt. So you must have been really happy to see that, were you, when Smoke DNF'd?
I mean, it's never good to see somebody DNF. And I mean, Smoke. It is what it is, and I mean, again, I'm not happy that he DNF'd. I wish more people were battling on the grid for everyone else to have fun. But that safety car really did save me, because it just came out at the perfect place, perfect time. I was able just to go get my free pit stop and still.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, but GG.
It's
good
always
stuff.
good.
Good stuff to you, Vodka, taking the championship lead here off at the start of the season. But now, Abrupt, as we were just saying, obviously, that was a terribly timed safety car for you. But how are you feeling going into the future races of the season, man? Because you were leading there. You had great pace here tonight. So how are you feeling going into Monza and the rest of the season?
I'm loving it, man. Digging the Ferrari for sure. Yeah, the safety car there, it told me it wasn't going to be a safety car. It said it was going to clean it up off the track, is why I didn't dive in and get the mediums right away. So I was stuck on the hard tire.
Yeah. No, but great stuff though, man. Looked like you were back in form here tonight, man. Looked like the old Abrupt from Season 7 once again. It was just amazing to watch, how clean you and Vodka were driving the entire race. Great to see. But now to end things off here, we got Druply, one of our new drivers here, first race of the season on the podium. Now, Druply, though, I do gotta let you know, man, Jesus Christ does not exist. I was praying for my boy Slingshot, so obviously Jesus does not exist. You heard it here first, folks. But regardless, though, good stuff, man. I noticed you were waiting for a clean moment there, were you? Because it looked like you were being pretty smart. Like you could have gone, a dumber driver would have gone for some stupid moves there in the first sector, but you held off and waited for the moment to strike, I'm assuming.
Yes, like every time I had to go get alongside, I'd start to lose the grip trying to come out. He had more speed coming out, during the pit stop, I added some front wings so I couldn't catch them on the straights. And I was just faster in the corners, but I kept slipping every time I tried to get around them.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that wouldn't have anything to do with me being first person on you the whole time.
No.
Okay.
That was all. Yeah, no, that was all me, man. I was just getting too excited on the throttle, trying to get around, and end up spinning a little bit, and they'd get the better grip exiting.
Yeah, no, but great stuff though, man. Obviously, uh, everyone's still getting a little bit used to it, but you came out here swinging right away. You were up there fighting with Larry Vodka and Abrupt pretty much the whole time, up there in like top 4, top 5. So, looks like you'll definitely be a contender. Because you're new to the league and I don't know much about like what everyone has their own preferences. Is there any tracks coming up that you're excited for that you think you have a good shot at winning?
Britain, I'm pretty good at. Then Monza, I like it. This was actually one of my better ones, to be honest. I was hoping to do a little better in P3, but I am pretty happy with P3. That spin that I done right after Abrupt spun cost me the second place, but I'm taking
Yeah.
P3. I'm pretty happy with that for my first race.
Yeah, no, that was a great battle at the end between you and Slingshot to the line. Definitely
Yes,
really clean.
that was one of my favorite moves I've ever done right there, going around the outside of that turn and then getting the inside of the next one. I was on the limit the whole way through those last 2 turns.
Yeah, no, that was great racing, man. Very clean, very professional, and yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how you fare next weekend at Monza with a more full
Alrighty.
grid and all the madness of it. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, for this post-race interview. Obviously wrapping things up here now. We had a bit of a later start than usual. But you guys all raced well. There wasn't any bullshit here tonight. It was all clean racing, and that's what we like to see. So thanks for joining me, guys. And, I'm your host, Sidonian Muse. Next week, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on PGR TV. We'll be at our second race of Season 9 at Monza. So tune in for that. With that, we'll see you guys next weekend at Monza.
All right, man.
GG,
Take care.
boys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us,
man.
man.
Yes.
Good race, everybody.
Fun battle, bro.
Cheers.
Yes, sir. Good battling. Good battling.